Hello, it's Wednesday, July 20th, 2016, and as of this recording, I'm still depressed, but I'm not dead. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in once again. I know it's been a little bit since the last show, but I have been thinking about you all. I just haven't been able really to pull myself together to kind of get productive, to get focused on things, to get a show put together. You know, since the last show when I kind of talked about how I was getting down after what I thought was a couple really good weeks, things didn't change very much since then. I do apologize for keeping everybody waiting on the next show. I'm sure your world revolves around my podcast, and I apologize for letting you down. Right? So I think I've got a show to get put together here for you guys. I just kind of sat down, hit record, and we're going to see what happens. No real promises on being coherent. I guess standard disclaimer here, right? I don't promise to be coherent or rational or logical or even consistent, but it's me. And if you've listened this far, I guess you're used to that. So thank you. And again, I so much, joking aside, I do really appreciate everybody who does listen to the show and sends me some feedback. It's just great. It does help. I don't know if you realize that or not, or if I express that when I email you back. But it is encouraging and helpful to hear from others. So thank you so very much. And on that note, I guess how everybody can get a hold of me on Gmail at jamoalki@gmail.com, Twitter with the handle jamoalki. I have a webpage, jamoalki.info, facebook.com/jamoalki. And I've got a new kind of secret Facebook group that I'm going to start moderating. I don't know if this is going to catch on any more than the show has here, but I thought a while back I used a Facebook group to kind of try to encourage me to lose weight, and I added friends to it, and it was just a place we could kind of bounce ideas back and forth, encourage each other. So I went ahead and I made one, and I actually made up an additional Facebook account under the name jamoalki, since I needed to have a first and last name. So it is separate from the Facebook page supporting the podcast. I'm kind of seeing it as just a way that we can kind of get together and, just bounce ideas off each other or kind of share something that happened. It's really kind of another social area, but a safe area where folks can get together and communicate back and forth. And so there's a website for that. It's facebook.com/groups/depressednotdead. However, I believe if you go to that, you're going to get an error message. So what you really need to do is email me at the jamoalki@gmail.com and let me know that you'd like to be, at least to kind of see what the group is about. And then I will add you to the list. So, in this way, this is the only way I can figure right now to keep it closed and safe, because I know for myself, not so much, but I know a lot of folks are very sensitive about who gets to see what they're putting out there as far as their mental illness. And, maybe nobody out there listening really wants to do this. And I get that. That's cool. I'm just trying to offer up as many options as I can selfishly for myself to be able to communicate with others, but also to kind of just, put out a hand out there and say, hey, come on over here. Let's see if we can, spend a little time and help each other, make our journeys a little bit easier. So yeah, I've nailed the non-coherent part and inconsistent part. So yeah, email me, jamoalki@gmail.com, and let me know if you would like to be part of that closed Facebook group. And make sure you let me know what email address is tied to your Facebook account. I know some people have more than one, so if the one tied to your Facebook is not the one you email me with, I'll need that information as well. Hope that makes sense. I know I'm a little confused by it, but yeah, I don't know. Let's just get started. So again, like I mentioned, I have been struggling lately. It's tough to put my finger on exactly what's going on. I was messaging my friend Julio, who started up that Defeat the Stigma that I had mentioned before, running. He ran across Minnesota, ran across Wisconsin this year. And I mentioned that, I kind of feel, I had been feeling good, and I kind of feel now like the months following my suicide attempt. Just that, and I guess not at the point where at that point I was still, I mentioned before, I was troubleshooting my attempts. Why did I do this? Why did I fail? What would make it right? I was I was kind of experimenting with other ideas, and I'm not at that point. So as far as like the specific suicidal ideations, that's not what I mean, but just the kind of lost and really unsure which way to go to wellness, I guess, right? I don't know what's up, down, what's left, right. I kind of question everything. Like I mentioned, my focus has been just awful, really, to be honest. Some days I'm that kind of stereotypical depressive who, can't get it together enough to do laundry, right? And I know that's the cliche, oh, everybody hates doing laundry, but you throw it in the machine, add some detergent, push some buttons, away you go. You come back an hour later, throw it in the dryer, come back half hour later and fold. I mean, it's not complicated, but it's almost like I can't put the step-by-steps together to, go into the closet, get the basket, go in the kids' closets, get their baskets, go downstairs, sort, put it in. It feels like I'm trying to figure out how to go in and remove someone's gallbladder, right? And I'm not equating the two. I'm not saying, and I'm not saying what was me, but think about that. Think about, if I said to you, hey, my gallbladder, it needs to come out. You got to do it. Go. You wouldn't know what to do. And it's almost what it feels like. Just kind of getting basic things done is, okay, I got to go get gas in the car and pick up milk. And it's like, oh, which do I do first? Oh, which gas station? It feels like mundane things are things I've never done before. Yeah. I don't know if that makes sense. So anyway, that's the focus. My energy is pretty down, although I've gone running a couple times, so the energy is kind of up and down. But yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of that, finding the energy to do something, right? So the times that I get past the focus and I get to, okay, yep, I got to do this. I got to go set up the sprinkler to water the front grass because it's still kind of seedling stage and we want to make sure the grass grows. So, and oh my gosh, it just feels like, okay, let me just push that boulder up the hill and then I'll get started, right? Oh my gosh, no. And then we get into confidence. This is one thing I have noticed in the past few weeks is that my confidence is just out the window. I don't feel like I can do anything well. The few things that I do accomplish, I don't feel like I did them well, or sometimes even, worthy of having done them. And this goes from, trying to get back into running to, cleaning the bathroom. It's a strange kind of all-consuming lack of confidence, right? I don't feel like can offer up a worthy conversation, so I haven't called my folks. I haven't called my girls. I don't feel confident in what I'm bringing to my relationship with Nora. So I don't talk as much. And, I find myself actively kind of faking sounds so bad, but kind of just, that's more complicated, right? So kind of faking with Nora a little bit, like giving her smiles when I don't feel like it, and whatnot. And I know that gets into all, hey, what, you gotta rely on her, and I get that. And my friend Julio even brought that up. He said, hey, what's going on? You gotta talk to Nora. And I said, well, I've gone through this before, right? I just don't feel, it's hard for me to pile on to her. And that gets into the next thing, where even my own sense of value and worth is kind of out the window. I don't feel like I deserve as much time as the other things going on in people's lives, or even that I'm as important. I mean, intellectually, if you ask me, hey, Nora's work or me, which is more valuable or important to her, it's going to be me. I know that. But in the moment, in kind of the emotional brain part is, oh, hell no. She's got to get that stuff done for work and the kids. And we've got this wedding coming up, we're trying to get nailed down. And oh my gosh, all that other stuff needs to happen. I'll just be here. I'll figure this out. And I know it's wrong. It's wrong. But, all those things put together, the focus, the energy, the confidence, the self-worth, self-value, that's huge, and it's paralyzing sometimes. And yeah, it's, I don't know, kind of jumbling my way through this. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of what's been going on. I feel like I started 3 or 4 topics there and I didn't see any of them through. But yeah, I mean, the focus, the energy, the confidence, the value, et cetera, the classic kind of could almost vomit it up, the symptoms that I'm going through. And, it feels weird that I know it's going on and I can't work my way past them. I can't even work my way into a situation where I can manage them. They're absolutely winning right now. And I don't know, I want there to be a path. I want to say, okay, do this. But just the coming up with that path it's blocked with from those things, right? I mean, I'm at a point where I don't know, someone says, okay, well, you just gotta, get one thing and do that. Well, I'm at a point where if I don't have any confidence, I don't have any kind of inner self-value, it's nearly impossible for me to say, okay, A to B to C, that's a path that's worthy of trying out. And I don't trust in myself to be able to come up with that plan, to even try to follow it. I don't trust in myself and have the confidence in myself that if I go to A and I'm on my way to B and it's going to feel like it's not working and not helpful, I don't feel like I'm going to keep going, because I don't want to set myself up for that failure, right? So I don't know. So I find myself in kind of embarrassingly, wishing that someone else would kind of swoop in and say, okay, this is where you are. This is where, you want to be. Here's a way I think could help you get there. I'm not saying that I got the right plan for you and this is the only way to do it or the best way to do it, but here's a plan that I have confidence in, and I have confidence in you to be able to do it. And I would love that. And just that, hey, this is a route that worked for me, or I've seen work, or I have belief that will work because A, B, and C, D, E, F, whatever, do this. Here's kind of a general plan. And I don't know, it feels wrong to want that, right? It feels like it has to come from me. And additionally, I don't even know where to find that, because it seems like a lot of what I look up on the internet is kind of that foo-foo woo back to the, affirmations and platitudes and this and that. And, I don't know. It's hard for me to come up with that. So, and I'm going to get into something I'm going to give a try in just a minute, from my therapy visit appointment just on Monday. But I just want to finish this out. The things I've noticed, even just this week, I noticed a strange, maybe not strange, I noticed a similarity kind of in my outgoing drive, I guess we'll say. I don't know. I don't know what I want to say. I don't know, my generosity, let's say, or my want to give to others. We'll say that, my want to give to others. When I'm feeling, an improved state, way, level, blah, whatever, I want to do more for others, and yes, those who are close to me and dear to me, but also just the general person, right? To make the world a little bit better. I mentioned that DBSA extra, every other week group that I'm trying to get going, or be it other things, kind of reaching out to others that I see on the internet who are kind of struggling. When I'm feeling a little bit better, I feel like I have that clarity, that energy to do that. But also kind of when I'm feeling down now, I find myself just wanting to do little, random act of kindness things. I went and got bagels today, and it was early and I was there, and I said, hey, you know what, give me $5 on this gift card of yours, and the 10th person who comes later on, just give this to them. And they're like, you sure? I said, yeah. But you can't say it's from this guy sitting over here. Because, when I get bagels, I like to sit there and I surf the internet and I try to pull myself together for the day. I just wanted kind of to put that, kind of give that to someone. Anonymous, like, hey, it's like a jackpot, right? I mean, $5 at a bagel shop, whoop-de-doo. But, wow, cool. I would love it if I showed up at, the Super America to get my soda pop and they said, oh, nope, somebody already paid for it. Oh my gosh, that'd be awesome. So, it's kind of interesting to me that kind of both when I'm feeling better and when I'm feeling worse, I kind of still have that drive to give to others, but in kind of different ways, I guess. Obviously when I'm down, it's way more passive and kind of like, oh, geez, that 10th person down the line doesn't need to have a day like I'm having. When I'm better, it's like, hey, let me see what I can do to offer up some of my experience actively. Yeah, so I mean, an interesting little tidbit, a little insight into my mind, I guess. not that you guys are short of any of those. So, what am I doing? I'm trying. I mentioned before, that I think last show I mentioned how I had kind of these open-ended future plans that I can try to stick to, right? Like talk about, that race that Nora signed me up for. And hey, good news. Yes, we won the lottery. And so sometime in early October, I'll be running 10 miles. Woohoo, I think. But yeah, so, really the only thing that I've really latched onto, and really it's not really going that well, is kind of running. I went out Monday. I'm trying to go like every other day, trying to increase my stamina, get a little bit more distance or a little bit more better pace. And it's hard. I pulled up some data from when I was running almost 2 years ago when I was prepping for that half marathon. And oh my gosh, every half hour of running is not the same as every other half hour of running. I've got a long way to go. And I don't know that I'll ever be back to, that where I was 2 years ago as far as running pace, speed, or overall stamina. Maybe, I guess that would be great. But it's just a long way to go to move my body for 3, 4, 5, 6, up to 10 miles is wow. But, I guess, I've kind of latched onto that a little bit because I'm looking into it. I'm trying to kind of get back to somewhat where I was before. So, that's kind of what I have right now. As far as active in my head, this is, kind of some open-ended future that I'm working towards, right? Because honestly, I mentioned this in therapy. Why would I go run today when it's 95 degrees outside if I'm not planning on running again in 2 days, in 4 days, in 4 weeks, in 2 months? I'm trying with that. And yes, I know I've got all these other things, and, Nora is wonderful, and my kids are wonderful, and the stepkids here are wonderful, and, this and that, and, my own just improved well-being. Again, all those other things, focus, energy, confidence, value, blah, blah, blah. Those things are way too monumental as a group and kind of individually for me to focus on at least these past few weeks. So I'm going to try the running thing, and see, baby steps, I guess, right? Yeah. So I had therapy. I went to therapy on Monday. And full disclosure, I took Nora to the airport yesterday morning. She comes back tomorrow evening. So I am, coupled with my, general blah kind of what's going on is, my Nora is away, and that's always bad news for me. So Monday morning I went to therapy, with good old Eric, spelled with a CH, not a C or a K. And, I had missed the week before. I didn't go because I was the way I was actually feeling. I called, I made up a lie, wasn't feeling well. And I explained that to him this week when I went to see him. He didn't smack my knuckles with a wooden ruler or anything, but yeah, I'm going to try not to do that anymore. But there was a little bit of catch up, right? Because it was 2 weeks since my last appointment, and I explained to him what's really been going on, and that story I told you guys about the other support group that I went to, and all that. And we went. I've seen him 4 times now, and he's pretty consistent. I mentioned a lot, considerable thoughts of being dead, that things would be better, and not that I have specific plans, just that kind of feeling has really crept back in. And he's saying, well, okay, but what do you think that's gonna do for your girls or for Nora? And you got to think about that. And good for him for being consistent and wanting to say that. And I hear things like that all the time. But when I'm at that point, where it's all consuming for me, that, hey, I'd be better off, everything would be better off if I weren't here. Thinking about my girls, thinking about Nora, if I can get to think about them, it's in my head. It's as clear as 1 + 1 is 2, that they would be better off in the long term without me. Sitting here today talking to you guys, I suspect that that's not true. But, last night while I was trying to fall asleep, no, that was absolutely true. And people say, well, you gotta realize that that's your depression talking, and maybe there's something to that. And I'll be honest, I've used that for other people as well, but I don't see how I don't see that right now. I get into that mindset where it's just, everything is so matter-of-factly in your head. And I wish I could explain it better. Maybe some of you understand, maybe some of you don't. But to say in my safety plan that, hey, my girls and Nora, my folks, are going to be, upset or destroyed if I go through with this, is it's the same as putting on my safety plan. Hey, if I commit suicide, the sun physically will not rise tomorrow. It's that matter-of-factly. But we talked about that a little bit, and then a few other things on and on. And he did say, he gave me some homework, many things actually. 4-7-8 breathing, which I haven't actually looked into yet, but he said to check that out. And it's kind of a grounding, kind of in the moment kind of thing. What you breathe in for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 7, and then breathe out over 8 seconds, which seems really difficult. That's a long out breath, but I'm going to give it a try. It's kind of just a way to, because you have to focus. I guess you would have to focus considerably to do that. So, hope maybe it's a good way to clear my head from what's going on. I'm going to try. I'll let you guys know about that. But he gave me this homework of making a personal mission statement. And I thought, okay, what is that? I mean, I know, in business schools, blah, 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 a mission statement for a company. I get it. I know what that's all about. How do I make that for me? And I've been looking around. I've asked quite a bit online, chat groups and on Twitter, folks who, hey, have you done this? Can I see one? And I unfortunately haven't come up with anybody yet who has made one as it pertains to mental illness. Maybe it doesn't need to pertain to mental illness. I don't know. Maybe, hey, Dave, do you have a personal mission statement? Can I see it? I don't know. So I'm looking for whatever I can to kind of help guide me on this. I found a website, thechangeblog.com, which talks about mission statements a little bit. And it kind of breaks it down pretty simple for me, I think. So I think I have the idea, but those things, those no's that no focus, no energy, blah, 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 that I talked about before, have so far made this really difficult for me. So what they did, they broke it down into kind of 3 things. And if you can put these 3 things into even just a small paragraph, that's all you need. They gave an example of, a bullet point, probably was like 10 bullet pointed things that this one gentleman had made for his personal mission statement. Even if you can make it this small, a paragraph even, doesn't have to be bulleted out. That could be beneficial. That could be helpful. And I think I can see where it would be if I get these guidelines. So what they mentioned on it was, who do I want to be? And right, that's the first question. And I don't know. I have thinks what I want. I think what I want to be, but I don't know. And we're getting to a bigger topic there that maybe I'll talk about another day. But is my depression me? Is that really who I am? So am I fighting that? Am I fighting who I really am, or what? I don't know. So who do I want to be? Like, a loving father, a great, encouraging, supportive husband, or whatever. Maybe 2-3 things there. I don't know. And then what do I want to do? So it was unclear to me if this was I want to be a Parks and Rec basketball player, or is it, hey, I want to be a regional manager for a mid-level corporation. I don't know. It was unclear through this website exactly what that is tied to, if it's career or whatever. And then what do I value? That's right there, the 4th no. I know I don't value me right now, so that's tricky. I value, I don't know, I value the happiness of others maybe, but then I get back into am I kind of hiding? Am I using that to cover up my own problems? I don't know. So personal mission statement. Tell you what, when I get this made, I will share it with you guys, and we'll see what comes of it. He wants me to have this done by next. He wants me to, like, I work for him. he suggested it would be nice if I could have it done by our next appointment to kind of talk about it, as well as I'm going to bring my safety plan with me, which is still fairly undone. But let's see, I'll get those done and get them in, because maybe there's some value in that, kind of getting someone else's input, someone who has more someone who has more experience with such things. But just like, if doing the laundry seems like a big task sometimes, holy cow, this is wow, I don't even know really where to start, but I guess we'll see. And that's about all the rambling I can get out right now. And that's going to be it, guys. I've babbled, and awed my way through 38 minutes worth of recording. We'll see if that makes it to 30 minutes once I edit out all the pregnant pauses and all that kind of stuff. Again, everybody, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me. I appreciate it. Get a hold of me if you have the inclination or whatever. I would love to hear from each and every one of you who downloads the show. Yeah, I guess that's it, folks. Until next time, be safe and be well. Mm-hmm.